The Struggling Artist Record Club is a vinyl record subscription service where I hunt and curate the best punk and punk-adjacent music out there and mail their record to your door each and every month. Imagine finding your new favorite band from across the country without ever having to leave the house. It doesn't get much better than that. The excitement of discovering new music just got that much easier. As a member of the Struggling Artist Record Club, you are going to receive some of the best music you've ever heard from bands you may never even heard of. Whether you've been collecting records for years or just starting out, the Struggling Artist Record Club is designed specifically for you. And right now, all new members get a Struggling Artist Record Club exclusive along with the monthly selection. So head to StrugglingArtistRecordClub.com, pick a membership, and start building that collection today.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Struggling Artist Turntable for August of 2026. I am here. I am Jeff Bousquet, and I am hanging out with Chris Chavez.
Back in the saddle.
Yeah, back in the saddle. We are carrying the torch this month as Trev continues his little and well-deserved sabbatical. Very well-deserved sabbatical. We have a kind of a quick episode for you this month with just two local picks that we both decided to bring to the table. So we're just going to talk about those records. But first, Chris, how are you?
After we living it, you know what? Yeah, we warmed off air and talked about what's going on in our lives. I've been busy, you know. I'm doing pretty good with that. But yeah, doing good, man. I'm glad we decided to do this because I didn't want to miss another turntable. I had missed so many, and now I was getting kind of that rhythm of being back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. We were just talking off air about jobs and the economy and employment and all that kind of stuff. It sucks. And I'm definitely feeling that. Making art of any kind is tough, and just providing like photo video services for people is it's so much of that world is like contract based and just sort of like unstable, and it can be really good when it's good and then really dead when it's dead. And just like you know there's so many people out there that want to get free shit and like want you to work for free basically. And, it's tough, but and
especially in the world like you said, video or photography, something like that. Like AI aside, there are so many different free programs and software now that people feel like all I have to do is manipulate a couple things and I can just do it myself, right? So that kind of takes away from it, and then add in AI now, dude. I'm sure that's having an impact on that world.
Yeah, and same with, I mean, obviously this is a music podcast, and we're all music connected people as well, and music is just, it's just wild, how small of a sliver of our economy is reserved for art, for paying artists. Like capitalism is like a whole pie with one teeny tiny little sliver of it that is just a little fraction that reserves any real money and compensation for artists. I was thinking about that recently. Like
it's crazy.
And then that turns the industry so competitive and everything gets gate kept. So whether you're a musician or a filmmaker or an actor, or a photographer or a costume designer, whatever it is, like there's only a teeny tiny little crumb reserved for you to actually make a living at. And so,
but you have to fight to get that crumb.
You got to fight to get that crumb. And so then
Yeah,
it creates a line out the door of people fighting to get that crumb. And, and it's really, it makes the industry really, really toxic sometimes, which sucks, but,
and discouraging, dude. I'm sure.
Yeah, totally discouraging.
Crazy.
But, whatever. We beat on, as the old Edison says. Their reunion show was incredible. Weekends ago.
I know Trev wanted to talk about it, dude, but tell me a little bit about your experience with it, because he told me some of how he felt and what he experienced with it, dude. So tell me a little bit about yours.
Yeah, it was. I cried a lot. I've cried so much more at Faces this year than I had planned.
Oh, that's awesome.
Than I had planned on doing. I don't know what's going on. With
no, that's
Faces
beautiful
year,
though, dude. That means there's this passionate love. You know what I mean, for your friends and for music, dude. That's awesome. Yeah,
between the Diggs reunion show a few weeks, about a month and a half ago, and then the old Edison show, it was a lot of tears been shed at Faces this year, but this summer. It was an emotional day. It was very much a lot of hugging and a lot of tears and a lot of sing-alongs and everything that I pretty much expected, that it was going to be.
That's awesome. Was it packed?
It was sold out. Faces, I believe, holds about 100 people. Maybe it seemed like it was maybe more than that, but I don't know exactly. But I know that it was sold out. And it's, for those who don't know, the old Edison is a legendary Boston folk punk band that was around for many years and kind of went away around COVID. Hadn't really put out any music in a while, and then the lead singer Will, or one of the two, I guess I always kind of considered them all to be the lead singers, but principal songwriter Will Good was in a really tragic accident that has left him in a wheelchair. He's a wheelchair user now, and he hasn't been able to play guitar and stuff since the accident. So there was a big benefit show for him back in, I think, 2020 or 2021 that he wasn't able to participate in because he was still very much in recovery, and so this was the first time he was on stage with the band singing since then. And so it was really, really emotional. Just it would have been anyway, even if none of that had happened and the band had just done a reunion show after having been away for a long time. And it's a terrible thing that happened, and it's something we're all still, I think, we're healing through the music. I think that's what was happening in that room for sure.
Nice.
But it was something really special, and I'm really glad they did it. I'm hoping that maybe they'll realize that it's not as hard to do as they think, and they'll do it again every once in a while.
There you go. Yeah.
I think there's something to be said for the fact that you'll pack it out the room and sell it out when you haven't played a show in 6 years or whatever it is. But I think they could still, even if they played a show once or twice a year, they'd still get quite a crowd out to hang out. So
nice.
It was
nice,
a good
dude.
time.
I'm glad you got to experience that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, why don't we take a quick break?
Yep.
And when we come back, we'll talk about our picks. We just each have one pick this month, but
because there's no theme. Let's talk about that real quick. There is no theme this month because Trev said, he forgot to post about it. So we said, whatever, we'll just pick something to talk about it. So no theme. We're just coming back to talk about these picks.
And we're back with our only picks this month here on the Struggling Artist Turntable. Chris, you're up first.
All right.
With your pick from Buffalo.
Pick from Buffalo that when you listen to it, that's not what comes to mind. You don't go, oh, Buffalo. These guys are from Buffalo.
I definitely did not.
You know what I mean? You would think more like Appalachia, like a little bit further south. Just this kind of old school sound comes with the band Yellow Jack. 2 words, Yellow Jack from Buffalo. This is a kind of folk Americana band, a very kind of bluegrassy, old style Irish folk band. Not so much Irish, but you know what I mean? Like that, the sing-song vocals and the way they kind of have some of these elements. But it's a band that they don't just play, you know, in that style of music. They dive into the history of Buffalo and the Erie Canal and in Western New York. Almost all of their songs talk about the history of this area. And this album, the one we're talking about today, Canallers, Captains, and Conmen, is an album that I think it's their 4th album, is focused on the Erie Canal, the history of the Erie Canal around here. But dude, I love the sound of this band. Like, I love this style of music anyway, right? Once in a while when I'm in the mood for this, like, I just love listening to it. It's that kind of foot stomping, the fiddles playing, you know, that thumping kind of bass sound, and the singing. Like, there's 3 or 4 vocals that you hear and they're all harmonizing, you know, and it's just got this kind of, like I said, that Appalachia sound, you know what I mean? Almost like, I can't even think of it, but there's so much in this. There's like this kind of rich, historical, bluegrassy, country blues feel to a lot of this. And everything I listen to, like in this album, it feels like it brings me back in time. It definitely doesn't feel like it's modern days. You know what I mean? Even though when you hear bands that play this style of music in modern times, that still has a modern sound, this legit just feels like we stepped back in time and somehow captured the sound of one of these bands traveling across, you know, Western New York during those early days, like the late 1800s or early 1900s. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I definitely did not, as soon as I heard this, I definitely did not realize that like this kind of music could be like about this part of New, or I didn't really associate that in my mind, right? It sounds very much like kind of Appalachian or the other thing like Maritimes, Canadian Maritimes, like sea shanty, you know, kind of, because it's a lot about, you know, ships and pirates and so the first track, Low Bridge Every Reddit, like that's most of this music is like traditional folk.
Yes, there's a lot of traditionals, and then there's they do a lot of traditional and a lot of original stuff, but they don't. I don't know if they cover anything that's like modern, you know, covers.
Because I was pretty sure the first Erie Canal tune I had heard before, or like sounded familiar to me, and then as I kept listening, I was like, I don't know, like these songs sound like traditional folk songs mostly, but I was curious. I'm not as well read on traditional Americana folk, like American folk music, to necessarily know if all of these are covers or if some of them are originals or
I believe there's a number of these that are originals. I'll have to look it up and see which ones are.
Yeah, I was really curious because on the site it doesn't, or on their Bandcamp page, it doesn't necessarily you know, denoted, and they don't have the lyrics there, but the first track off this, the first thing that came to mind were bands like Old Man Markley or Larry and His Flask, that kind of Americana folk sound, that sort of driving, like big harmonized group singing type stuff. And then as I was listening to it, I was like, but like Old Man Markley and Larry and His Flask like are more of a modern, like kind of almost punk driven and like more original songs. And then I was listening to this and I was like, okay, these are like classic folk songs that they're sort of maybe doing their own take on. But I loved it. I loved the harmonizing on this too, like just outstanding vocals. And then now that I'm on their Bandcamp too, they put out a record in 2022 called Highway 62 that has like this kind of like old like motor lodge, or like
looks like a postcard.
Maybe it's supposed to be a house on the cover. Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be a house. I was going to say I thought it was like a motor lodge type thing. Maybe it is, but I really want to hear this record now that I heard the Crawlers, Captains, and Conmen record, because I'm very curious to hear what this sounds like, because I think I know what it's going to sound like, and I'm probably going to be into it. Western, but I think this is really cool. I didn't associate Northern New York and Western New York with that style of music really so much. So,
yeah, dude, that's what I said.
Really fun.
I always talk about how like rich and just full this area is with all different kinds of musical styles and artists that actually have legit crazy great talent. You know what I mean? Much like the Boston and New England area. You know what I mean? It's just feels like it's saturated with such good talent. And again, when I listen to this, if it brings me back, and it like, you ever see the movie Sinners? Did you see that?
Not yet. I want to.
Okay, you'll see what I'm talking about. There's a scene in it where it's like these Irish folk singers come through, right? And that's what this reminds me of. It brings me back to that time, you know what I mean? And it's or "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" You know what I mean? Like that kind of era. Love it, dude. I absolutely love it. So yeah. And again, I just found them scrolling through Bandcamp. That's why I love this app. I just found them for the podcast, for this episode. I was like, let me try to find somebody that I haven't brought to the table yet. And I was like, Yellow Jack, have I looked at this yet? And as soon as I hit play, I was like, there's no way I brought this. This is amazing. I love it.
I love that you never fail to bring. There's just such a deep repertoire or inventory of Buffalo area bands. Like, it is just such a music rich place.
It really is, dude. I can't wait for you and Trev to come visit, bro, because I'm gonna make sure we line up a bunch of live shows to go to.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. It never fails to disappoint. So
Heck yeah.
This was super fun. I'd love to know where the name, where they got the name to, like Yellow Jack. Like,
I know Yellow Jack is a fish. Like, that's the only thing I know Yellow Jack is. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if it means anything else, or if it was like a character named Yellow Jack or something. You know what I mean?
It is. Yeah, it's probably named after the fish if they're singing about the canals. You know.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
All right, dude. What do you got?
So my pick is a band from Boston that I also previously did not know, that just happened to timing-wise line up with this month. But about a month ago, I saw Your Friends in Hell play a show at O'Brien's. That was posted as, or advertised as, a queercore show or a queer punk show. And I was stoked about that. I was stoked for them to go see it. And they opened for this band called Bratlash. And they are a kind of like super energetic, like in your face, unapologetically queer, feminist, progressive, like leftist, a punk band, but also like I'd put them in some other categories. Yeah, and I'd put them in some other categories too, as far as genre wise. I mean, like punk definitely, but there's also some proggy mathy stuff and like some heavy riffs and like super heavy parts like that lean more towards metal. They kind of have under their tags, they have like doom punk and like doomcore, queer doom punk, queer punk, queercore stuff. Yeah, so like kind of spanning that genre, but they were really entertaining. I actually had to leave. I felt really bad because I actually had to leave that show a little bit early because I had to be at work like super early the next morning, and I was bummed. But I grabbed their info like before I left, so I was like, I'm going to bring this band on the podcast this month, and I'm really glad that I did. They, lyrically, you can hear it in their lyrics. This is a 3-song EP. It's a self-titled 3-song EP. And, they have really like angry, just sort of like, like angry, vengeful, like fuck you songs,
Yeah.
Their last one is called Does That Offend You? And it's sort of like a feminist call to, like being the thing that people, knowing that you're the thing that people are like, criticizing, and like being like owning that and being like just like unapologetically like proud of who you are, whether that's a queer person or and I guess a non-binary person or whatever it is. It's like, I'm not going to be the opening lines is like, I'm not make me up to be your beauty queen. I'll be pretty pretty polite, proper and clean. It's kind of like, I'm not going to be this robot that you expect me to be as a woman or as a, whatever. Right. So I appreciate this, subject matter wise, content wise, I appreciate this record a lot, and it's like super fun to listen to. Mm-hmm. So I was really impressed with this band, and I did not know they existed before that show. So
nice. Yeah, dude. When I hit RIP, when you start this EP, the sound that was coming from it started giving me almost like a spooky vibe to it, like this kind of creepy sound, right? And I thought, oh, this guy's kind of like a Halloween-y kind of feel. Like this would be like the sound, the way it's opening and the way it sounds initially. I'm like, oh, this sounds kind of creepy. Then the vocals come in and the music kicks in, and it has almost retro kind of angry punk sound to it.
Definitely.
With the way the lyrics are delivered, right, and sung. But then you get into the next song and the next two songs, and this is where it does have, you can hear influences of more of the hard rock or maybe even metal through this. Yeah. Because even with the way the vocals, the way the songs are sung, right? The first one's more very punctuated and angry and more of a shout, right? Whereas like Worth It opens up with actually like more kind of controlled singing. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a little bit more melody in the lyrics, and that's the one I liked the most, was the second tune, because it caught me off guard. I was like, oh, okay, it's not this. We're doing this now, and that kind of like jarring feel made me go, ooh, let me listen more, right? But I loved the tone. I loved everything about the song, the way it was sung. I loved the lyrics, but that it made me think, oh, this is a really cool band, right? Third song kicks in, and then you can hear kind of like the melding of the two, like that kind of punk with metal. And when I say punk and metal, like I'm not thinking like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like there's this, like you said, prog metal, maybe like this prog rock metal
there's
sound,
some
right?
Like proggy, like mathy, like parts in there. Like,
and I feel it's in there like woven throughout the third song, where there's a little bit more punk too to that sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed this a lot, and I love the name too, Bratlash.
Yeah,
it's just awesome.
The other thing too is like, I think there's a little bit of a healthy amount of like humor in it too. Like it's sort of what's the word? Like it's crass, like on purpose a little bit. It's like, shock value on purpose. But it's also like, I mean, it's a little bit funny. Like there's a little bit of humor in like, fuck you, I don't care. The lyrics like, don't rest in peace, suck on D's.
Suck on D's, dude.
It's like fucking like,
I was like, wait, did they say suck on D's,
yeah,
dude?
Yeah. It's great. Like
it's amazing.
I was also really impressed by their just musicianship on stage too. Like they're just like super tight. And
I'd love to see them live, dude.
Super tight, high energy, really, really commanding of the room.
Nice.
When they played. So yeah, very cool band. I'm stoked to see. Hopefully they'll put together like more bills around in that kind of queer punk space, because we don't have as much of that as I wish we did. And I think it's cool to see bands like being taking the initiative on like kind of fostering that scene, supporting that
for
scene.
Sure. That's awesome.
Yeah,
we got a pretty good a pretty healthy kind of queer space here in Buffalo. There's the Lavender Room's a big production. They put out they put together so many different shows that are welcoming of everyone, basically. You know what I mean? It's great.
Yeah, I think it's building here in Boston. I think
nice.
There are plenty of queer bands, but it's definitely not as you don't see as many shows listed the way this one was, or like advertised the way this one was. And
nice.
So I thought that was cool. And there was a couple of other really great bands that played that night along with Your Friends in Hell. So definitely looking forward to hopefully seeing them more. But yeah.
Cool.
Why don't we take another real quick break, and we'll be back with some final words and close out our shortest episode ever. We'll be right back. And we're back with our closing segment of the Struggling Artist Turntable for August of 2026. Chris, anything you want to tell the folks about that's coming up that's particularly new or interesting or exciting?
You know what? Yes, I'm actually bringing back 716 The Sound. The podcast has been on hiatus this year for the entire year. Nothing's been out since December, but it's. I'm looking to bring it back. I put up a post today on Instagram, and I have to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised at the reception. I didn't realize that many folks noticed I was gone. You know what I mean? As soon as I came back, everybody was just like super happy to hear that I was coming back, and were happy to hear from me and had been wondering what happened. And so it was pretty cool. It was a pretty cool response. So yeah, I'm looking to do it. I've got a bunch of messages I have to return now to book a bunch of folks, but the show's coming back. So keep an ear and an eye out for 716 The Sound, the podcast. The radio station, you want to listen to Western New York music, is still going, 716thesoundradio.com. Check it out. Otherwise, that's all I got.
Hell yeah. Everybody definitely does miss you. People are stoked that it's coming back. I mean, we missed you, so
yeah, I appreciate you guys.
I have a couple of shows that I like feel kind of weird now because I haven't played a show in about a year, but all of a sudden somehow I'm playing 3 of them in August, which probably isn't
awesome.
Under normal circumstances would not be a great move to like oversaturate playing in your hometown, I guess, but nobody really cares. I don't think. I haven't played in a really long time, and all 3 shows are extremely different. So on August 12th, Wednesday, August 12th, I'm finally playing the show that never happened, which was supposed to happen back in March, or February. I think it was actually supposed to happen in February with Massive Nightmares at the Sill. Massive Nightmares, Luddites, and Perfectly Lethal.
Nice.
And that got rescheduled 3 or 4 times and finally made it all the way to August. And so I'm going to be opening that show up solo. And then on August 24th, I was invited to be part of Miss Lindsay Moon. Mia Culpa of Your Friends in Hell has put together a sort of storyteller songwriter night at the Midway. A spooky songwriters night that she's calling it. And so what it is basically, we're telling a story with like a few songs. It's kind of an acoustic night. Yeah. So I'm going to be playing like 1 or 2 new ones and a couple songs that I don't usually play, that are kind of weaved together with a bit of a story, I guess. And then, Saturday, August 29th at Faces, the Struggling Artist presents, we're having a show with Lesser Devils, In the Meantime, C.E. Skidmore and the Damn Fine Band, and myself. I'm going to be playing with my brother and Jameson as Jeff Bousquet and the Raging Sea. So it's the first time I've ever played with a live band since I was like in high school.
That's awesome, dude.
It should be really fun. Yeah, we're excited about it. So definitely, if you can make it out to any of those, definitely do. But the one to really check out if you can would be the 29th at Faces. We're really grateful to Ryan for having us, and it's also my birthday, so
Oh, nice.
Come on out and party with us.
Hell yeah, that's awesome, dude. I can't wait to hear. I was hoping to try to get out there, but there's a wedding now that I'm going to, so I'm not going to be able to make it to that show. But I can't wait to hear how it goes, dude.
Yeah, should be a good time. So. Anyway, thank you as always. I'd like to say thanks to our benevolent overlord, Trev Allen, for creating this podcast and podcast network and family of misfits we all are that giving us a place to.
The land of misfit toys is the Struggling Artist Dome, the Struggle Dome.
Yeah, the Struggle Dome. Thanks for creating the Struggle Dome, giving us a place all to yap and express our feelings and our love of music and art and all kinds of stuff. You can keep listening to regular episodes being released every Monday. Aria Rad's been hosting the last few, and keep an eye out for the usual turntable continuing next month, I guess. And
yeah. We'll be back.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next one. See ya.
See ya.